I'm Eric Watson. This is my family. This is Deborah, Cadel, Tian and Kadira.
We were living in Melbourne. We talked for quite a few years about moving to the country, but had never been able to find somewhere that everyone was happy to move to. 3 years ago we came to Castlemaine for a long weekend, came to Maldon on the Sunday for breakfast, went for a walk around, saw the church for sale, fell in love with it, came back to visit on the Tuesday to have a look at the church, and by the weekend we owned the church and we were moving.
Peaceful, relaxed, it felt very much like home the first time I visited. I think that's why we ended up here. I mean, a lot of people hear our story and they think, oh, how can you go somewhere and then 2 weeks later own a house there and decide to move there? But it sounds sudden, but it's not really, because it had been a long process of talking about wanting to move somewhere and really looking for the right place. So when the right place was suddenly available, it was very quick and easy.
We'd asked the kids and they were really happy, they wanted to move, whereas before they'd never shown any interest in moving from Melbourne. So that said to us that the time was right. Time was right in terms of Eric's work. He could work from home and commute to Melbourne a couple of days a week. So that's how we ended up here. When you move to a new place, you've got to put yourself out there. People have already got their friendship groups. They're not looking to extend them. So when you move somewhere, you need to be the one that approaches a group or makes the contact. If you don't do that, it won't work.
If you make the effort, everyone is very welcoming and helpful. So you just put yourself out there, get involved with local community clubs and things, and before you know it, you've got a whole network of friends and activities.
My favourite thing about Maldon is being able to go anywhere I want with my friends.
My favourite thing about Maldon is being able to know everyone.
My favourite thing about Maldon is being able to walk everywhere.
Everything that the kids do, they can do in Maldon, and it's a place where I feel safe letting the kids wander the streets, ride their bikes and just be kids.
One of the things we were looking for was somewhere to go that we didn't feel too isolated from the city, because I spent all my life in the city or travelling around the world and visiting a lot of big cities. I work in an import-export business, in a kind of a sales and marketing role, and a lot of my time is dealing with overseas suppliers and customers. So I already had a job where I spend as much time talking with people in Thailand or India or Singapore as I do in Australia. So where I'm located in Australia is not really so relevant anymore.
I'm very lucky that I managed to get a job at the local Bendigo Bank Community Bank, which is 50 metres down the road. So I work there 3 days a week, which fits in perfectly with our lifestyle. It's just great to be able to have a job in this town that fits with us.
I'm a bit of a nomad, but I find now that I'm here, I'm putting roots down.
For the first time ever.
Yeah.
We've been married 20 years, and I think in 20 years this is our 12th house. So we've always been on the move, and it's usually been instigated by Eric.
By me.
The best thing about living in this house is that there's no neighbours and there's a lot of space in the backyard.
We've now been here nearly 3 years and he's perfectly happy. In fact, he's putting down more and more roots all the time, which is fantastic.
My favourite thing about living in this house is being so close to the main street and not having polluted air.
Now that I'm here, I'm spending a bit more time out in the backyard making this garden in the house, but it's just something I love to do.
Well, my favourite thing about living in this house is how much space we've got in the backyard.
This is it until the kids finish high school, and because we don't want to move them again until they've finished their schooling. Once the youngest finishes, which is about 8 years' time, Eric and I would like to do some more travelling. But for now, as a family, what we're doing is just what we want right now. We'd like to see this as being the 10-year plan, I suppose.